Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kumomara and I am unapologetically me. And I hope that as you join me on this journey, you too will learn how to be unapologetically you. Now, today's video, I just wanted to do a sit down video. I have been reflecting a little bit on my YouTube journey. I am about to hit the 2-year mark since I uploaded my first YouTube video. And I must say, YouTube has been a roller coaster of a journey for me. And with that said, there are a couple of lessons that I have learned along the way, and I'd definitely love to share them with all of you guys. So if you're somebody who's interested in finding out what it's like to have a YouTube channel and what lessons you might learn, or if you want to watch this video so you can gain better knowledge on what to do and what not to do in your YouTube journey, then this is the perfect place, and I hope this is helpful to you. So the first thing that I would say is definitely begin with an end in mind. It is so important to understand your why. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? I remember when I first started my channel, it had been a desire that I had for the 5 years before I even had uploaded my first video. And I remember what attracted me to YouTube so much was specifically when I was going on exchange. I was about to be an exchange student, or rather at that time I was an aspiring exchange student, and I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on what it's like to be an exchange student, specifically in the US, and that really kind of drew me in because I felt like all those people that were giving that information were giving me a sense of a feel of what it's like to live in a different world or to achieve something that I wanted to achieve myself. And so it really just gave me knowledge. I gained a lot of knowledge and learned a lot of things before I even got to embark on my exchange journey. So I wanted to do the same thing with my channel. I really wanted it to be a space where I could teach people, bring them into my world, and perhaps if we share similar desires, it would be a way for me to show them how they can achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And I would say that pretty much still remains one of the core pillars of my channel. I want to intentionally just grow and create the type of content that other people can relate to, but that they can also be inspired by. The second thing is something that I really wish I knew. Social media or YouTube is all about planning. Now, I'm not talking just about the type of planning where you have to plan your content and you need to actually know what you're going to do, but also planning and preparing in terms of your physical appearance, right? Are you camera ready? Because I think some of the mistakes that I made when I started my YouTube channel was that I would just pick up my camera and immediately start recording, of which there's nothing wrong with that. There are people who do that and are successful on YouTube. However, I feel like you do kind of need to have a really great personality or be an entertaining person for people to take that and run with it. For example, Elsa Majimbo, she would take TikTok videos, reels and stuff of herself just in her everyday normal, but then she would say things that are really funny and entertaining, and people would really relate to that. If you're on YouTube, if you're on social media, it is the media space, and I think one of the rules is that you need to attract an audience, and one of the simple things that you can do is being put together. And I really think that has really taken my YouTube videos to just a higher level of quality. It looks more polished. It looks like I've put some effort into my video, and I think that really attracts people a lot more. Another thing I would say in terms of preparation is the actual preparing in terms of preparing your video, right? What kind of content are you going to be putting out there? The third thing is something that we hear so often, but it is so true: consistency. It is so important to remain consistent. I have literally seen how my consistently directly reflects on my channel growth. In the beginning of your channel journey, depending on whether you share it with your family and friends, the people that are going to be joining are going to be people that know you, right? Your family and your friends. But in order for you to attract an audience outside of those people and actually start to build your actual audience, not saying that your family and your friends are not your audience, they are I would say they're more of your supporters than your audience, like your target market, right? Because they're watching you because they know you and perhaps they love you and maybe they love your content, but it's not always guaranteed that that's why they're following your content. So yeah, as then when you start growing your actual audience, it's so important to remain consistent. I've even seen with myself, I tend to subscribe to channels where I know that I'm expecting content to be released perhaps on a weekly basis, or every 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. And usually when I'm subscribed to a channel that doesn't release content as often, I typically will unsubscribe from that channel because I'm not receiving the value that I signed up for, unless it's somebody whose content I really, really love, or I really, really love the personality, and I decide to stay and just wait for the day that that person decides to drop another video. So it's just important to understand that consistency is important and it is linked to your growth. However, you also need to be realistic about the rate at which you grow. I do know that there are exceptions to the rule. There are some people who will grow at a much quicker rate than other people. However, don't disqualify yourself from embracing your creative journey just because somebody else seems to have gone a little bit faster than you. It is important that you continue to create and remain consistent, improve your quality, seek feedback, utilize that feedback, and that is where you're going to see yourself continue to grow and grow more. There's always room for improvement. The fourth thing that I think is so important is value. I think I slightly mentioned this before, but it's so important. Now, are you putting out content that is valuable to other people? Because that is what's going to make them remain subscribed. Now, when I say value, I'm not simply talking about educational value only. I'm talking about entertainment value. I'm talking about inspirational value. As somebody who engages in different types of, or has different media platforms, and I have other people that I watch, for example, there are people who I'm subscribed to for entertainment purposes, and there are people who I'm subscribed to for educational purposes, right? Others for inspirational purposes, solely for inspirational purposes. So you need to really understand, what value am I bringing to my subscribers? What value am I bringing to my audience, right? And keep doing more of that. Now, what I love about media is that you can niche it down and really just focus on one thing, which is a great strategy, but you can also broaden it up a little bit and maybe focus on a few different things. So you can also have some niches on your channel instead of just having one particular niche. But obviously that is a little bit more tricky to juggle and balance, so you need to be a little bit careful about that. But it is important, I would say it's a good strategy rather to niche your content, know what value that you're bringing to the table, and keep doing more of that. Another thing, research is important, right? Understanding in this area or in this niche that I'm currently in, so what are the areas that are gaps in the market? How can I bring more value to the people that are watching my content? And I think that's something that's really, really great and really important. People always really love it when you share something that is useful to them. A fifth thing that I would say that I knew in the back of my mind, but I don't think I quite fully understood, which is such a simple concept, but it's so true, is that you get to choose what you put out on social media. Now, I know it can be very tempting when you're looking at all these different people and you see how perhaps vulnerable they might be, or how it seems like they're putting everything about them on social media, and maybe that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I want you to know that it is up to you what you put on your social media platforms. I used to have this idea that everything that I see from my social media influencers that I follow is like, that's their day-to-day, that's their bread and butter, that's who they are, that's exactly how they live. And the truth is, there are certain things that people will not put out on social media, and you don't have to either. You get to choose. It's like writing a book. You're the author. You get to choose what the narrative is. You get to choose what you're putting out there. So be very deliberate and intentional about what you put out there, right? If it is beauty content that you want to focus on beauty content. If it is vlogging content, focus on vlogging, but you don't have to vlog every single moment of your life. You can choose, okay, I'm going to a restaurant, let me vlog that part. I'm going to go to the mall, let me vlog that part. Choose what you want to vlog. Keep it entertaining. If you want to rant in your vlog, rant, but it's a choice that you're making. It doesn't have to be that, oh, everybody else is doing it, so therefore I have to do it. No, it's your life and you get to choose what you want to put out there. And last but not least, this one is going to seem so cheesy and generic, but it's so true, right? Pray. In all things, pray. I think it's so important. I remember when I first started my channel, I was so scared to give it to God because I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work out. What if God doesn't really agree with me starting a YouTube channel? Or what if I experience slow growth? Does that mean that God is saying no? And yes, all of those thoughts can come to your mind, and maybe even worse thoughts than what I'm saying right now can come to your mind. But it's just important to pray, right? I think for me, something that I remember hearing this about 2 weeks ago in church, and I think it's a verse, but I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on this. But it says something along the lines of, we labor and the Lord builds. And that really just hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes we put so much work and effort into the things that we do, but the truth is, the miracle of the things that we do actually coming to fruition is God. That makes the difference, right? It's in God saying yes. It's in God helping us to build. So don't be afraid to submit the things that you do to the Lord, and in all things pray about it, including your social media, which I know for some people is a space that they're like, I don't think social media is a God thing like that. But it really can be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be putting out Christian content in order for you to submit what you're doing to God. You can be doing whatever. He's given you those gifts and talents to be able to do that. And so I would say, if you're somebody who is a believer, definitely submit it to the Lord. Thank you so much for listening to my 6 tips, or rather 6 lessons that I've learned in the 2 years that I've spent on social media. If there's anything that stood out to you, definitely let me know in the comment section below. If there's anything that you feel like I missed that you might want to add, if you're a content creator yourself, let's have a chat in the comment section. And last but not least, like this video, definitely subscribe if this is a place that you'd like to join the family and become a part of us. We'd love to have you here. And yes, until next time, mwah, mwah, bye.